Now I'm going to give you a pearl of wisdom. This is a play that I rarely see, but this is how you can understand the mechanics of card play, and you can make this strategically to your advantage. And this is it. Anybody that's played blackjack for any length of time knows that when the dealer shows a 2, they are likely going to make a hand. In fact, many people will say on the game, oh, that's the dealer's ace. And the reason for that is that the 2 is virtually a 0 value card and pairs so well with others. And when the house shows a 2, they hit it into 17 to 21 or bust. And that's how it works for the house. So I'm coaching you now to utilize this 2 to the best of your advantage. And this is it. When the player has a pair of 2s, I'm coaching you to take advantage of that card by splitting it against a 7, 8, or 9. Because when you hit the 2 into a higher card, now you're inclined to make a hand, 17 to 21 or bust. And that's how the house utilizes that 2. And remember, when the dealer is showing a 7 in particular, unless there's a 10 or an ace under, the dealer must draw. So this is it. Split your 2s against a 7, 8, or 9, as opposed to the bust cards 4, 5, or 6, because then you'd be inclined to stand on a 12 through 16, giving up the advantage of utilizing that deuce. So splitting 2s against 7, 8, or 9, and in particular, the 7. Now we're going to make an experiment. So I'm going to use this deuce up. I'm just going to pull a card to make a down card. And remember, these cards are not shuffled in any particular way. I'm just going to use this deuce, and then let's hit it and see what happens. 12, 16, too many. 6, 16, too many. 9, 13, 21. 12, 15, 16, too many. 8 is 10 now. There's a 20. 12. There's a 20. 6, 14. Too many. 6, 9, 16, 21. 12. There's too many. You can see that the deuce can make a hand up to at least half at the time. 8. There's 18. 8 deuce. 13. There's too many. 12. 13. There's 21. 12. 15. There's 19. 7. 9. 20. 10, 18, 4, 12, 14, 16. There's too many. Too many deuces in that hand. 12. Too many. But you're starting to get the gist of how the player can make a hand with a deuce up, and you see how often the house makes a hand with that deuce. $20. 19. 20. 20. 8, 12, 20. 12, 13. Too many. 21. 12, 20. 4, 14, 18. So you can see that the house actually makes a hand with that deuce up more often than when they bust. 12, there's 18. 12, too many. 20. 20. And there's a 20. So, to review, splitting those twos when the dealer shows 7, 8, or 9 is a strategically calculated bet. Now let's review our better blackjack. First of all, players today lose because they double down and split too much. Years ago, the players were more strategic, more calculated. They did not double down on all 11s. That's what happened when the card came out and turned everybody into zombie players. I double down on all 11s. I split everything I get a pair of. That is not better blackjack. Better blackjack is money management. Money management is the key to winning in blackjack. So I have coached you to play conservative until you get your lucky streak. And that's when you can afford to play more aggressive, because you're splitting and doubling down with house money. And remember, we talked about splitting the difference between your bankroll and house money. So the 3-unit bet, you win, you increase by a small increment in a positive direction. Now when you win again, you increase in a positive small increment in a positive direction, and always bringing something back for your bankroll, and increase your bet with house money. Remember too, we talked about 2 hands and the player making a calculated bet on the second hand. So increase your bet on the second hand in order to see the cards on the first hand in order to make a better and more calculated bet on the second hand. Remember, double down and split with house money unless it's the very minimal conservative plays of doubling on 10, 11, and ace deuce when the dealer shows 4, 5, or 6. And remember, the 2s and 3s are not plus cards. Aces are the only natural split in the game. You always split aces regardless of what the dealer is showing. And splitting 2s when the dealer shows 7, 8, or 9. And hitting them into 17 to 21 or bust. And remember, your goal when you come onto the blackjack table is to make a limit bet with house money, win or lose. And the very last thing I want to show you here on Better Blackjack is to remember to bet with the dealer. When you're on your winning streak, you want the dealer to be on your side. Now I'm going to give you one last little pearl. What would you say is the most important card in the deck? Most players do not really get this, but I will tell you that is the 5, because the 5 is a very special card. It's the only card in the deck that will make a hand out of every stiff you have to hit. 12 through 16, because the dealer stands on 17 being the bottom end of a competitive hand. So the 5 is the most important card in the deck, and there are count systems that are predicated on the 5. But I will tell you one thing about card counting. Card counting is highly overrated. Card counting is originally designed to give a player a better guess as to what or not they should double down. That's what card counting is all about. And even the best card counters in the world can only take an educated bet, an educated guess on what they believe that next card is going to be for making a better decision on whether they should double down or not. But card counting is highly overrated. And I will tell you that it is easily the most misunderstood part of this game is insurance. But we've reviewed that insurance is nothing more than a bet that the dealer has a 10 under the ace. And remember, as the cards come out, when the dealer has an ace up, if there are if the last cards that come out are face cards, the dealer probably did not get a blackjack. But if the last cards to come out were all babies, 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 there's a better chance that the dealer did get a 10 under the ace. But insurance is primarily designed for high limit play on a single deck. If you're betting $1,000 and you're watching the cards go by, and you really believe that the dealer got a 10 under the ace, you don't have to take a full insurance. On 1,000, it would be 500. On this bet, it would be $350. But you don't have to take full insurance. You can take a small increment of that insurance. When the dealer has the blackjack, the player loses the original bet, but the insurance pays 2 to 1. It's a way to get some of your bet back when you're playing high limit single deck and you're watching the cards go by and you really believe the dealer got a 10 under the ace. That's insurance. Otherwise, I've coached you that you should always take even money if the player has blackjack and the dealer has an ace up. It's the only free money in the casino. Take it. It's your even money. If you have any questions about anything that we've discussed, hop over to the website and you can ask me your questions and correspond. I'd be happy to answer any questions. So that's most of what I have right now for Better Blackjack from In the Know, your Las Vegas dealer.